Did anyone else notice all the layoffs that just happened in like last 2 days? Let's go down the list. First,
That was an older video that I hadn't got a chance to get to. That was back from the 10th of November. That was a lot of jobs in just a couple of days. Just news articles explaining layoffs and stuff. A lot of them were tech jobs. Some were here in Colorado. Those jobs aren't coming back either. Go watch that video to go see how many companies laid off people and what those companies were. But yeah, those jobs aren't coming back. And that's a problem because we get all these new pop-up startup companies or these tech companies, and they're providing very, very, very shallow employment, if you will, because those jobs go away as soon as they need to save some money because they can't infinitely grow, right? Square is having that problem. If they raise prices too much, because Square's one of the companies named there, if they raise prices too much, nobody's going to want to use that platform for processing credit card payments or anything. They'll go someplace else. So Square can't be bigger than a lot of other processors, and they want you to tip on everything too. That's the other thing. So if they ruin that market for themselves, they're just going to go out of business. And since they can't have infinite growth, they'll just fire part of their staff is what they'll do. A lot of companies do that. They're not actually making more money when they fire their staff. They're just not spending the same amount of money. And I hate that because it's part of that economics of math that they use to explain growth. You know, it's like when oil companies raise the price on oil and then claim record profits like it's some kind of mystery or somehow they just did some magic. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. It's not how it works at all. So my question has been in numerous videos I've talked about in the labor market, if we're not going to pay people any better and we're not going to make wages sustainable and jobs are going to go away, how do we plan on having this country continue to last? If all the labor is outsourced for too cheap and we're not going to replace those jobs here, what are we going to do? What are people going to do? Because we're going to see the rate of homelessness increase as people can't afford to even rent or own homes. Already people can't own homes. I mean, basically that's a non-existent thing. You know, the average person is not buying a home anymore. It's just not happening. And as boomers die off, they're not exactly going to pass those assets on to their children. Even if they did, can those children afford to pay the taxes on? And I know there's methods of getting the taxes taken care of, but I can guarantee the average boomer is not going to be handling that for their children. So let's say you do inherit a $400,000 home. Can you pay the taxes on that? And if the answer is no, then you have to liquidate the home and you're still out of a property. It's just a mess that keeps getting worse. Now, I do think that some things will get better once the boomers are gone, but then the question becomes what becomes worse, because there are some gaps that are going to be there for that. So, but that many companies in November laying employees off leaves a lot of people jobless for December, of course, which leads to the other problem of Black Friday, how that was so horrible. So what were they expecting to happen after they laid these people off? Most of those people are going to be either panicking or just not spending any money. I think that's a factor a lot of people didn't look at coming up to Black Friday. Because again, that video that guy made was on the 10th of November. I think it was like 2 days prior to that is when those articles all broke. But it's quite a weird situation. And I love how economists just don't see this or don't comment on it. They just kind of like quietly leave it be. So where do you see things being at in January? I don't think anybody's talking about it. Where do you guys see things being at in January? And what do you think is going to happen when all the boomers are gone and all of the assets they had are not passed on to family, or those family members get them but can't do anything with it because they owe so much taxes on that? I know there's certain loopholes, but again, I don't think the common person is going to be able to use those. So what are your thoughts? And what should we be doing going forward?